Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I love what Triple H has been doing on the main roster, but just like anything else in life, it does not go without its faults. So we got a video here. It's called the 10 worst Triple H WWE booking decisions. Let's get into this.
Triple H has been booking WWE for nearly a year now, and while he's done a relatively good job, there's been some questionable booking decisions.
It's been a quick year.
Were so bad that people were speculating that Vince McMahon is secretly in charge, but no, we gotta be fair and recognize that Triple H can be a bad booker at times and make some mistakes. So let's look at his 10 worst booking decisions. Number 10, the women's division. The first spot on this list is dedicated to an entire division. The women's division has been poorly booked for the last year. Sure, there's been some good moments here and there, but for the most part, it's been bad. The women tag team championships are pretty pointless at this moment, and when it was introduced that they would return, there was a lot of hype surrounding them, but they failed to make them feel important. Ronda Rousey was horribly booked during her SmackDown Women's Championship reign. I'm not saying she's incredible with promos, but you gotta figure something out. Maybe give her a manager. That would have been a great solution. It really isn't that complicated. And most of the shows only feature a limited amount of women wrestling, and it is dominated by men, and when you barely book them, you don't have long-term storytelling, and that's another issue with most of these women's title matches. This has been a problem for some time now. Triple H has not been able to fix it, and hopefully he does figure it out and fixes it, but right now he's done a bad job with booking women. Number 9.
Okay, yeah, so I 100% agree with this one here. If you've been watching this channel, you know I've been vying for a mid-card title for the ladies. Now, granted, a mid-card title isn't going to save anybody if the booking and the writing isn't done properly, because bad booking, bad writing can ruin a title. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter who it's for. If it's not done properly, it can ruin that championship belt. Now, I agree with them 100% on this, and I was really surprised by this by Triple H, because in NXT, he made women's wrestling 10 times better. You know, I'm not saying he reinvented the wheel or whatever the case may be. Of course, the ladies had everything to do with it, but the women, the way that they were treating the women in the NXT during the black and gold era versus what they were doing on the main roster, the way Triple H was handling these women, it was amazing. So to see it be this way in the past year is really, really crazy. You know, the way that he's been booking the whole thing. And if you think about it, outside of like Bianca Belair holding the championship for so long, Rhea Ripley finally getting her belt, what else has really been happening in the women's division? No one has really been developed. There hasn't been any storylines that have been intriguing. It's been matches that we've been waiting to see. I mean, thank God that Charlotte and Rhea Ripley had a great match at WrestleMania, because that had no build. Bianca Belair and Asuka, even though we were looking forward to that match, and most of us, like myself, wanted Asuka to win that had no build. So, like, what are they actually doing with the women's division? And the tag team championship belts is kind of irrelevant, like they said. You know, unless you love the person who's carrying the belt, it kind of doesn't matter. If you're thinking about, oh, this person finally has a belt, maybe this will be a great opportunity in the future. But if you want to be honest with yourself, even though as much as I love Liv Morgan, as much as I love Raquel Rodriguez, I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what I think they're just holding it just for Shayna Baszler and for Ronda Rousey, just to take it back off of them. It just felt like they're just holding it, waiting for them to come back. But I don't think they're really doing anything important with the ladies division, and they really need to figure that out. It's not, I mean, Impact is killing it right now with the women's division, and dare I say, AEW may be a little bit better with the women's division. I'm just, as far as booking, I'm not talking about talent. I know people don't like the AEW, WWE thing, but that was one thing I used to hang my hat on when it comes to Triple H, is that women's division, and I can't do that right now.
Brock versus Bobby. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley had the third match of their trilogy at Elimination Chamber, 1 month before WrestleMania 39, and as a result, Bobby Lashley missed WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar wrestled Omos, and I think it's fair to say that this was a bad booking decision. Brock versus Bobby 3 should have taken place at WrestleMania. Even the ending of the match at Elimination Chamber was lackluster. It was a Bobby Lashley win via disqualification after a low blow from Brock Lesnar. Overall, this was disappointing. It should have been at the grandest stage of them all with a clean finish.
I agree with that.
Karrion Kross. When Karrion Kross first made his debut on the main roster, many people blamed Vince McMahon for never giving him a real chance to shine. Well, Triple H brought him back.
I got something to say about this one.
Continued to do a bad job at booking him. His feuds, his matches, and the overall presentation just has not been good. You can make the argument and say that it's Karrion Kross who isn't connecting with the audience. However, I'm a believer that strong writing, aka booking, is the most important part of the process. And while it does usually take a talent to make things work, 75% of it comes down to the writing, and Triple H has not been booking him in an exciting way that can help him succeed.
Okay, so I gotta disagree with 95% of what's being said here. Of course, if someone writes someone properly, if they book them properly, it's going to help them out. But there are some individuals, it does not matter if you get the best writers in the world, if you catch lightning in 7 bottles, if you get 7 Dragon Balls and ask Shinron to help you out, they're not going to make somebody turn into a superstar. There is an it factor that a person has to have to push them up to the next level. And the things that I've been hearing about people, or hearing people say about Karrion Kross and WWE, you know, since he's come into NXT up to now, has been some of the stuff that I've heard since I've been watching Impact for a long time. People have said over there as well. Now, don't get me wrong. There are fans of Karrion Kross. There are people who like him a lot, but still majority of people have said that they don't see him as more than just an average to good mid-carder. And I really can't disagree with that at all. Like, I really have seen him that way. I loved him on the mic. I love some of his character work in Impact. You know, some of the stuff he's done in promos on Lucha Underground. But again, it's just an it factor that he lacks that people deem as boring. And I'm not going to try to make it sound like he's a scrub, because he's had great matches outside of WWE, you know, notably in Impact, his match against Eddie Edwards where they busted each other open, his match against Johnny Impact. He's had matches in GCW, MLW, FSW, Maverick. Great matches that I've seen by him. I wouldn't call them 5-star, but they're pretty good matches. But still, at this point, you know, I don't think there's enough there to connect them with the fans. It's just some, you know, like you watch a movie that's written really well, but there's this actor that you don't hate the guy, but you don't know why you just can't connect with them. You just don't know why you don't like the movies that he's in, or why you don't like his acting. Even though he's good, you just cannot connect with him. And Karrion Kross seems to be that guy. But now this gimmick they have going on with him right now, you know, that they started, you know, with this, he's supposed to have this feud between him and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think they're going in the right direction. I think I have an idea where they should go with that, and I'll put that in a different video because I don't want to talk too much longer, believe it or not. But I don't know why they started that just to end it due to the draft. Like, why would you start this up when you know the draft is coming around? But I think they have him in the right direction. Will he be a megastar? I don't know. Will he be a superstar? I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. I know people are basing it upon how he looks and his size and things like that. You know, I don't really see it. And I know people are very invested into Scarlett Bordeaux for obvious reasons, but at the end of the day, I kind of hope that they figure it out with this guy. I really do. I really hope he gets to do what he has to do. Some people still don't like him due to some political things he says. Some people still don't like him because of how they felt like he handled his Impact contract. So those people will never like him. And, you know, once that information from the past starts circulating around, there are people who never heard about him who start to not like him due to those things. So those things you can't control. So he has a lot of things against him, but hopefully they find a way to do it, man. I don't want to see anyone fail in their gimmicks. But anyways, I'm sorry. I talked too long. I got a video coming out about Karrion Kross and how they should book him. Let's move on.
LA Knight. Another name that has not been booked well right now is LA Knight. Look, I'm glad Triple H got rid of the entire Max Dupree nonsense.
I agree.
While it wasn't entirely garbage, LA Knight is significantly better. With that being said, Triple H inserted LA Knight into a feud with Bray Wyatt, which was the worst thing to do, because coming off his return, there was no way that LA Knight was going to come out of that feud with a win. So why would you book it? I don't know. What's worse is that he hasn't done anything important afterwards, and he missed WrestleMania. Triple H really had LA Knight available for WrestleMania and just didn't book him. I just don't understand how someone so over with the audience isn't really winning matches. He's got to win the Money in the Bank contract and then proceed to become the World Heavyweight Champion. That is how you save LA Knight. Number 6.
Okay, all right. So with that one, I would agree with the WrestleMania thing. He should have been at WrestleMania. Like everybody says, how you going to have WrestleMania in LA without LA Knight? He's one, if not the biggest rising stars you have at the moment. Why wasn't he there? That would have been a great moment for people to get introduced to him. Even if he came in and just did a talking segment, I think it would have been great. He didn't have to wrestle anybody. I don't understand that booking decision, but at the end of the day, to have him in a feud with Bray Wyatt, he didn't need to have the win. I think that feud did so much more for LA Knight than it did for Bray Wyatt, and LA Knight didn't even win. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was great for LA Knight, in my personal opinion. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I agree with the WrestleMania thing. Him being in a feud with Bray Wyatt, I disagree with that. I think that was great for LA Knight, even though it ended weird, and it'd be different if it was a terrible ending and we can blame LA Knight for it being that bad, but we can't blame him for that because we've had this cycle with Bray Wyatt over and over, having these weird situations happen. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, he's going to talk about him now.
Bray Wyatt's return was absolutely perfect. Everything from the weekly teases
I agree.
to the ultimate return at Extreme Rules could not have been booked better. Even his first promo on SmackDown showed us a lot of potential. And then Triple H
Wait, don't that rabbit, when they were showing that, don't that remind you of like Pitfall for all my old heads? Like back the old Pitfall games.
It's how book him terribly. I'm not sure if it was Triple H or the writers or Wyatt himself who came up with the Uncle Howdy stuff, but that was not good television, and to make it worse, the story did not progress throughout the 6 months of TV time. I don't know who was a part of it, but Hunter is the one as the booker needs to recognize what's happening, and he's got to take over. For that, I think he should get the blame. It was bad booking from him and his team, and we haven't even seen Bray Wyatt in weeks due to an undisclosed injury or illness. When he does return, I hope Triple H does a better job at booking Wyatt, because I think he's still got a lot of potential. Number 5.
I don't know, man. Like I'm sorry if I keep stopping this video, or that I keep stopping this video. I don't want to seem like I'm protecting Triple H, because when he screws up, he screws up. But when it comes to Bray Wyatt, I don't know, but I feel like Bray Wyatt had a bulk of the creative control in that, and because he came back, I don't think he would come back for anything less than that. I think that's one of his main frustrations when he was booked under Vince McMahon. So with Triple H being over it, I can feel that he gave Bray Wyatt a lot of creative control. Now, we have to understand that at the end of a lot of these gimmicks that, Bray Wyatt has had, it ended pretty bad. And I think the common denominator there is Bray Wyatt. When he was the Eater of Worlds, the way he was booked there, I can't blame that on him. They kept making him take losses after losses to not make him as credible. Like, thank God his character was so great and over with the crowd. That's what helped him. But if he was any other wrestler at the time, people would have been looking at him like, this guy is just like a semi-jobber, who get these random title opportunities. But at this point, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see when Bray Wyatt comes back to see what Triple H does. And if Triple H knocks it out the park, then I guess we can, give it to him, or just say that Bray Wyatt came up with a new idea that works this time around.
Damage control. Bayley, Io Sky, and
I agree with this.
To SummerSlam as a new faction, a faction that was supposed to take over the women's division, and this gave fans a lot of hope that the women's division would thrive, but that wasn't the case. Triple H did a really poor job at booking these 3 ladies. It got off to a bad start when Dakota and Io Sky were unable to win the initial Women's Tag Team Championship tournament, only to win it weeks later. If you're going to book them to win it anyways, it would have been better to have them win it the first time around. Anyways, aside from that, they've just been booked to look like a bunch of losers for the last 6 or 7 months, and I expected the complete opposite. It is looking like that is turning into a storyline now, so hopefully that is the direction they go into, that Bayley was just a bad leader who was selfish. Number 4,
I have nothing to add to that. Nothing at all.
Vince McMahon booked Austin Theory to win the Money in the Bank contract, and he was really high on the kid and thought he would become a huge star for the company. With that being said, he booked him to win at the worst possible time, in the middle of Roman's historic title reign, and so Triple H thought it would make logical sense for him to book Theory to cash in on Seth Rollins for the US title. I don't love it, but that's at least something unique. But the terrible booking decision came afterwards when he had him lose the match. Austin Theory then explained how he cashed in on Seth because Roman has the bloodline around, but then he ended up losing anyways. That was just terrible booking. A failed cash in on Roman Reigns would have been far better, and I know he's fine now as a character, but that doesn't mean that it was a good booking decision in my opinion. Number 3, the draft.
Let me stop right there. Whoa. So for me, I get where he's coming from with him. He should have failed to cash in at Roman Reigns. At the end of the day, for me, a failed cash in is a failed cash in. It's not, you're not going to be that much more credible because you failed to cash in against Roman Reigns. Like, at the end of the day, like he said, the bloodline was there. He wasn't even going to make it to Roman Reigns. So either way, people would have complained about it anyways. People would have been upset about the booking decision because they were absolutely upset when Baron Corbin failed to cash in. Not that they wanted Baron Corbin to win, but they think that the Money in the Bank contract lost some of its prestigiousness, so if it's even a word. But for me, like, it didn't bother me that much, man. At the end of the day, Vince McMahon painted Triple H in a corner by giving Austin Theory the Money in the Bank contract in the first place. You don't want him to interact with Roman Reigns. I believe at the time, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guy, guys, I think during the time that Austin Theory had the Money in the Bank contract, I believe Roman Reigns they were creating this feud between him and Logan Paul for their first match at Crown Jewel. I believe that was the case. If not, just ignore that part of it. But if that is the case, you don't want to get too many people raveled into the storyline with Roman Reigns. And also, if he failed to cash in against Roman Reigns, you're going to have to create something to tie the story up. Because the way that they made Austin Theory's character, he's not going to be a person who's going to fail to cash in against somebody and just be like, oh, okay, I failed to cash in. Let me just go over here to another time. Like, he's not going to just take it that easy. He seems like the character that will keep trying to do it over and over and over. You know, there's some characters that will fail a cash in and then will disappear. But there's certain characters that, because of their gimmick, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, for instance, like right now we have Chelsea Green. Her and Sonya Deville is upset about their, tag title opportunity. What they do, they go back and try to sign a petition. They'll go against management because that is a part of Chelsea Green's character. And with Sonya Deville, who used to be in management, she can give her ideas of how to work these things. But if it was any other tag team that did not have those gimmicks, they would just walk away. So for me, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal to me, honestly.
Disappointing. I don't think it was booked that great. Triple H had the opportunity to improve its presentation, add some general managers, and make each pick feel important. Then it was booked the same way it was for the last 5 years. To make it even worse, you have SmackDown wrestlers competing for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is supposed to be exclusive for Raw. You already broke the rules of the draft and its concept. Then you got a good amount of free agents. I understand Brock Lesnar being a free agent, but why is Omos, Dolph Ziggler, and Mustafa Ali all free agents? I don't get it.
And Mustafa Ali just wrestled on Raw too.
Number 2, the world title. I personally think that the WWE should have split the WWE and Universal Championship because we essentially have a third world title now. But the company clearly has plans on making Roman the champion for another 5 years. So I like the idea of introducing another world championship. That is not a problem. With that being said, there's 2 things I didn't like from Triple H and how he booked the return of this belt. First and foremost, I think the old design is much better. Secondly, the way he introduced it was not good. Hunter basically said Roman Reigns is unstoppable, the roster is pathetic, and here's a belt for all of you who can't beat Roman. It made it feel like a mid-card title, and that's why this is on the list. He could have simply just avoided that comment. And number 1, Cody loses. And the worst booking decision that a lot of people did not like was Cody
this was an easy one,
losing to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39 for the undisputed Universal WWE Championship. I wasn't one of those people who absolutely despised it, but I added it to the list because there were a lot of people who did not like it at all. They thought WrestleMania 39 was the perfect time and Cody was the perfect person. I don't know about you, but let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Triple H made a huge mistake and that Cody should have walked out of WrestleMania 39 as a new champion? Or are you going to wait like me until next year to see what WWE does? Let me know, and let me know what you think.
I agree. I think that was a bad decision, but like he said, I didn't despise it. I didn't hate it because I can understand. I still understand, even though it's for entertainment. I watch it for entertainment, but I do understand that WWE is still a business at the end of the day, and they're big about title runs, So in this situation, of course, they wanted Roman Reigns to get his 1,000 days. I think right now they're going title run crazy with him, with Bianca Belair. The list goes on and on with Gunther. Like, they're just trying to set records with every single title right now. So, I mean, I kind of felt that was going to happen that way. But it would have been great to see Cody Rhodes win at WrestleMania. But hopefully they correct their wrongs pretty soon. It's kind of weird on how they're going to do this now with Cody being on Raw and Roman Reigns being on SmackDown. So we'll see how they figure that out. Hopefully they don't botch that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys agree with or disagree with on this list? If you agree or disagree with me, of course, you guys are going to let me know in the comment section. And I love when you guys do that because I love to see each and every one of you guys' ideas. Thank you so much. I hope you guys having a great day, honestly. And I will do a video on Karrion Kross. It's going to be coming up soon in the next probably hour. And agree with me or disagree with me on there. I'd like to hear what you guys think. But anyways, have an amazing day. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.